Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage CEO of the Navy League of the United States and 13th Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, Mike Stevens.
Okay, so we're still early in the expo, but you know, with a round of applause, can I ask, are you enjoying it so far? Thank you. So I have some prepared remarks here, but you know, when you're sitting at the table and you're having conversations, things come up, right? And what I'd like to do is just take a minute. Number one, I just wanted to thank everybody. The Navy League of the United States would like to thank everyone for taking time out of your very busy schedules to be here and enjoy this expo with us. And we hope that you have just a wonderful 3 days, the time of your life. So thank you so much for your loyalty and being here with us and supporting the Navy League of the United States. Also today, it's kind of unprecedented, but the Navy League's been around 120 years, and we've had 51 national presidents. And today we have 3 of those national presidents with us, and it's amazing because you normally can't get 3 national presidents in the same room without them fighting and rolling around out in the hallway. But these 3 actually like each other, right? And I've been fortunate to work for all of them. So our 49th national president, I'm going to ask him to stand, Mr. Alan Kaplan. He's who hired me to come to the Navy League of the United States, right? Our 50th national president, Bill William Stevenson III, right? Bill, thank you. And our current national president, our 51st national president, Mr. Dave Riley. Oh, I forgot, Jim Offutt is in the room with us too. We also have, sorry, we have 4, right? Jim is kind of discreet. Jim, thank you for coming here, right? Yeah. I'll hear about that later. But thanks, Jim. It's good to have you here. Very much appreciate you being here. So I'm going to go ahead now and move into the prepared remarks, but I just thought we would take that opportunity to recognize our national presidents. So on behalf of our current national president and chairman, Mr. Dave Riley, and all the members of the Navy League of the United States that are with us today and out in the field doing the good work of the Navy League, we thank you for joining this year's Sea Service Luncheon. It is my pleasure to introduce to you this afternoon's special guest and keynote speaker, Ms. Carrie Wilkinson. Carrie is the Executive Vice President of HII and the President of Ingalls Shipbuilding. Named to this position in April of 2021, she is responsible for all programs and operations at Ingalls, including the U.S. Navy Amphibious Assault and Surface Combat Ship Program and the U.S. Coast Guard National Security Cutter Program. Wilkinson most recently served as Vice President of Program Management at Ingalls, where she had profit and loss responsibility for all elements of program execution and served as the principal liaison to the Navy and Coast Guard for all platforms in the Ingalls portfolio. Wilkinson began her career with Ingalls as an associate naval architect in 1996. Ms. Wilkinson, we thank you and we look forward to your remarks. Where are you? There you are. Thank you, Kate.
He started and said that she came to the shipyard in 1996, and I'm recalling some tours we did in the shipyard where I was giving a tour, and they said, this dry dock, it's old. We built it in 1974, thinking that was the year that I was born. So it is indeed a pleasure to be with you here today. So a couple things while I did prepare remarks, and I'll jump into those in just a minute. I don't think I could have teed them up any better with this morning's sessions because it really centers around people. So you'll hear a lot of that, and while I stand here representing many, I think hopefully they will, these remarks will resonate with them as well. And I'll give some information on HII, certainly, but I think you could apply a lot of other organizations to this and it would resonate. So with that, I'll go ahead and jump in. So good afternoon. What an honor to be asked to speak today to such an impressive group of people. And it is with humility and pride that I stand here to represent the over 44,000 unique and talented people of HII worldwide. And beyond that, to stand as a representative of industry in a room full of remarkable peers is indeed a privilege. As a team of partners, we stand together to fulfill an important common mission. Now, I wouldn't presume to speak for my peers, whether shipyard presidents or supplier CEOs. However, I suspect that these messages will resonate with them completely. Throughout the many collaborative discussions we have had over the last year or more, there isn't one where we haven't talked about people, either pandemic impacts or hiring and retention or workforce development. So while I certainly won't speak for them, my hope is that I will represent their interests as well as they might hope for from a single voice selected out of a tremendous pool of potential candidates to give these remarks. I am humbled to be standing here among you. So with that, on to the discussion. I've had the privilege to work on the HII team for 2.5 decades, and I can tell you that there are a few more dedicated to their purpose or committed to our partnerships and our collective mission. I wanted to begin today with some background that may be useful as we get into my remarks. I am the daughter of a Vietnam vet and the granddaughter of men who served in the Navy in Korea and in the Army in World War II. My life was filled with stories, the ones that my father told me when I was growing up, as well as the memories my mother's father shared with our family as we traced his path across Europe, and those of my father's father from time spent on ships. I can't remember a time when I looked at the flag and didn't think about something much, much bigger than myself. And I wouldn't have it any other way, as it has brought me here today with all of you to tell our continued story. So having said that, I thought I would start today by sharing a little bit about HII, who we are, and perhaps a little bit about who we are evolving to be. Historically, HII has been primarily about ships. As perhaps everyone here knows, our Newport News shipyard was founded 136 years ago and has built and maintained over 800 ships, including our nuclear aircraft carriers and submarines, since that time. Our Ingalls shipyard celebrates its 84th anniversary this year and has delivered nearly 200 military and military support ships and roughly 300 vessels of other kinds since it was founded on the east bank of the Pascagoula River in 1938. Our shipyards have been the foundation upon which we have solidified our culture of safety, respect, engagement, responsibility, integrity, and performance. And now our mission technologies portfolio adds new excitement as we evolve into being a trusted leader in data-driven defense, a vision of data-driven, all-domain operations where the ships for which we are known are essential assets. Now inclusive of critical capabilities in big data and artificial intelligence, autonomy and unmanned systems, and live, virtual, and constructive solutions, HII is expanding and growing into digital and ISR solutions in order to support our customers in the most comprehensive ways possible in all domains. And at the center of this, we will build great ships. Together, we welcome all challenges, requiring us to be at our very best, while understanding that the power of our platforms and the capabilities that we offer will come in truth from the young men and women at an average age of 19 that will bring them to bear on behalf of freedom and security around the globe. But whatever our business aspirations might be, we are first patriots, and a tenacious lot at that. I say this because today we're going to talk about challenges in our shipbuilding environment. And as I stand here today to speak to you on behalf of a reimagined HII, I am at my core a shipbuilder. And so I will speak from what I know for the next few minutes. Shipbuilders don't talk about challenges without then moving squarely into a discussion about opportunities and solutions. And with the opportunities we have within our grasp, we can then move into a conversation about partnerships to achieve them and staying focused on our mission for the benefit of many, many others. You see, shipbuilding is certainly about national security, but it is also increasingly about economic security, and people are central to both. So let's talk about our shared environment. Predictability certainly is the utopia of shipbuilding, both predictability of shipbuilding plans and the budgets to achieve them. Having said that, we acknowledge the evolving nature of the threats to our nation and to those currently playing out on the global stage. These threats create a need for our customers, the men and women of our armed services, and the requirements and acquisition communities that equip them to respond and be agile, for they are charged with the protection of freedom and of people. To provide the capabilities and services to accomplish this mission, we at HII and many other organizations represented in this room develop a workforce in much the same way as we build ships, one capability at a time. While we currently have the privilege of 36,054 shipbuilders, not that we're counting, coming through our shipyard gates every day, we are working harder than ever to capture and deliver on contracts to keep these talented people engaged in support of the greater good. As I think about it, over 1,800 of those walking through the gates are master shipbuilders, each with over 40 years of experience. Our shipbuilders work hard and consider the work that they do every day as a way to serve our country. They and our industry partners project the best of America. And as the makeup and expectations of our workforce evolve, so do we. Our methods to bring people onto the team, to give them every tool and skill needed to contribute in a way that only they can, to engage them such that they can contribute for years to come, these methods have evolved as well. And today we have a more diverse workforce than ever, and we strive to ensure that everyone on our team has an opportunity to do their best work and bring their diverse perspectives and unique gifts to bear on the complex problems we work to solve together every day. Once developed, a shipbuilder has special skill sets, is ruggedized for a tough environment, and is hell-bent on fulfilling their mission. None of these patriots are quickly developed, recreated, or easily replaced. One of the most remarkable memories I have of shipbuilders focused on the mission is from about a decade ago during my time on the waterfront, but it stays with me. These were the earlier days of an important program, and we're in a different place today. However, back then, it was not without its challenges. The day before a sea trial, we identified an issue with a major component on a significant system on the ship that would have precluded us from going to sea at first light the next morning. Our on-site field engineering and operations team diagnosed the issue. The program office and supply chain worked with the customer and the supplier to locate a replacement. Operations and transportation removed the component that was installed on another ship in another state and brought it to the shipyard. Our local engineering and operations team installed it. Our test and trials mechanics tested it and conducted a demonstration for our customer, and we were able to get underway on schedule. It may help us visualize if I mention that the part weighed 6,600 pounds and was installed 40 feet above the waterline. The team did not eat or sleep and moved that mountain in 21 hours in support of their mission, because this is what shipbuilders do. And it's the only one example of countless that I could give today. I tell you that story because people are the most extraordinary element of our collective industry. Whether the people that design, the people that build, the people that test, or the people that operate, we all know that we are only as strong as our people. Investing in, developing, and retaining people are the absolute lifeblood of this business. And that is getting harder and harder, so we are more and more committed to being successful in this endeavor. In shipbuilding, we talk about centers and predictability and funding and acquisition strategy. These things are absolutely important. Some may think that this is code for profit, but it's absolutely not. Shipbuilding is a low-margin business. We talk about centers and predictability and funding and acquisition strategy because if we don't get those things right, we lose people. And losing people damages capability, capacity, and economies. Ingalls invests nearly $15 million a week in our local Gulf Coast economy through our payroll alone. Before we even talk about corporate stewardship or giving strategies or volunteerism efforts. It is all about the people and creating stability for our communities. And more broadly, if we don't maintain our resilient workforce and enable them to be strong, then we lose our ability to perform and to surge in the event it is needed to support national security. And the pandemic has created even more challenges, ones that we couldn't have possibly foreseen. But from these challenges have come transformation and innovation in how we think and do. It is true that our programs have been impacted. However, we have been capitalizing on what we have learned through the ordeal. Whether by accomplishing our objectives through a new way of utilizing the people that we have, or developing a better sensitivity to the needs of our people and our partners, we are stronger now for coming through it. There's a quote that stayed with me from years ago: "That which hurts me but does not kill me merely postpones the inevitable." Seriously, through the tough times we've shared, I have routinely thought about our collective team and how we have endured and persevered together. So coming out the other side, presumably, of these difficult times, we see an even greater need for investment of effort to remain viable and productive as a national security team. But where are these efforts most needed? These efforts are needed in workforce development as the composition and expectations of our people change. Gone are the days of hiring 100% first-class mechanics, or of my hull general foreman on the waterfront coming to me after one of his young new hires nearly knocked himself out by doing something that he'd been trained not to do, and saying in jest of the kid, and the kid was fine, or I wouldn't make this joke, "This one's broken, can I get another one?" We're investing more than we ever have in teaching and developing our people, and we need to invest wisely and for the long run. We need industrial base initiatives that stabilize, strengthen, and remove barriers to entry as we work to maintain the fragile network of hundreds of important partners, including thoughtful application of requirements like cybersecurity maturity model certification requirements that can have significant unintended consequences, but are absolutely necessary. Our supplier partners are central to our ability to deliver ships to our customers. They are the absolute backbone of national security. And we need a deliberate approach to accomplish appropriate, required, and well-planned technology insertion into programs that is required to stay relevant and successful. For Ingalls, the collaborative transition of the DDG Flight 2A to Flight 3 over the course of several ships, as well as the LPD Flight 1 to Flight 2 evolution, are stellar examples of how to invest wisely to reap collective long-term rewards. The common thread through all of these facets: partnerships. Shipbuilding, providing critical mission technologies, national security, serving our country in this way is absolutely a team sport. And while we are already doing it together, there is more opportunity to be harvested. Clear communication of expectations, an appetite to focus completely on mission, an expectation set by us as leaders of efficiency and value creation, as opposed to activity and small-minded thinking, or because that's the way we've always done it. All of these advance our collective mission and support our primary objective. Moving forward, we cannot afford to see things in black and white. We must be able to operate together in the gray. Let me be clear, I'm not painting a dysfunctional picture by any means. We are strong today. I am only suggesting that we are strongest when we put down our individual objectives and perceptions and focus on the bigger picture. People are in harm's way right now as we sit in this beautiful room together, surrounded by privilege. We are cognizant of this fact because we are focused on the mission, and it's because it's in our DNA to do so. I consider it one of my responsibilities as a leader to keep this fact at the forefront for our extended team. For those that may think about shipbuilding as just a job, it is a fight, and we are in it together. I'm very grateful because I don't have to work hard to connect our shipbuilders with the fight. They are all in. So let me share the kind of all-in that I am talking about before we close. In a world where people are reprioritizing how they think about work and what they are and are not willing to do to make a living, these shipbuilders come to work every day in a close environment and have done so throughout the pandemic. They didn't ask to work from home or argue why we were considered part of the critical infrastructure for our nation. They put on steel toes, hard hats, and went to work. When hurricanes come, they ride the storm in the shipyard and on our ships, while their families evacuate the coast or stay in their homes without them. They embody phrases like can to can't and fire in the belly and do or die for the big I. And they have names like peanut, cabbage, tanker, Bigfoot, squirrel, hand, foot, big hand, little hand, and others not as appropriate for me to share with a distinguished audience. And they are remarkable and tenacious and singularly capable to do what they have signed up to do. So having said all of that, there are certainly challenges in the shipbuilding environment, whether predictability, workforce development, pandemic, industrial base fragility, that could serve as a rationale on any day for us as shipbuilders and as a community to take a step back. But as a team, we cannot afford it. Shipbuilding is hard, but there is no place we would rather be. We need partnerships. Every one of our supplier partners here today and around the country are shipbuilders, and we stand committed to our mission. So in closing today, you'll have to allow me one more story because I'm still standing in front of the microphone. This one a bit more personal. So although I routinely say to our team at Ingalls that there's no crying in shipbuilding, blood, sweat, no tears. If you have feelings, check them at the door because we're about to have a hard conversation. I'm actually someone that has a hard time clearing the lump from my throat when I stand and look at the flag and hear the national anthem. And I care deeply for my fellow shipbuilders. While I've never been in the service, I feel in my heart that what we do at HII serves the country to the best of our beautiful, specialized, and irreplaceable abilities. I've also never had the opportunity to stand in front of a room filled with so many of my heroes with the ability to say thank you and be heard. So on that note, I leave you today with deep personal gratitude for allowing me and the organization I represent to serve you. Thank you for your sacrifice, and I thank each and every one of you for your service. Thank you.